Okay, so you guys are going to have to forgive the boxes and the clutter behind me because this is not the video I intended to drop this week. I had already made a video, but something amazing happened. As you can see, I have the cherry Schacht Baby Wolf loom right in front of me. And it is absolutely gorgeous. I even have the matching bench. I'm so in love. I haven't got to start using it yet. I barely got it set up. Literally just finished setting it up today. So it is super sleek, super amazing, and surprisingly quiet. So I've heard people complain about the metal pedals on this type of loom, and I just assumed it would be super loud. But like even me being rough right now, that's really quiet. It's actually loud, not as loud as my Cranbrook loom that I currently have textile pedals on. I am so excited about this loom. I am just absolutely in love with it to start off. From everything about it, and I know it's a lot to say from not even getting to use it. So let me give you a kind of little backstory of why I know I'm going to love it. So I went to Colorado for a wedding, and I was supposed to fly. My flight got canceled, and we ended up driving, and it was like a 18-hour drive if you didn't stop. And obviously you have to stop occasionally for gas and stuff like that. So it's more like a 20-hour drive. It's a very long drive. So we made the best of it and wound up in Colorado. And while we were there, I was like, we're only an hour from the Schacht Looms. Maybe we should stop there. And my husband was like, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Why not? So we stopped. And I was kind of just hoping to talk him into a little cricket loom, which I got right here. And it's adorable, and I love it. And I've started making a little scarf with my daughter on it. It's just a little yellow scarf. She got to pick the project. Because I was like, she wants a little loom that she can use, and this would be perfect for that. And I need something that I can do like smaller projects on, because realistically getting out my big 30-inch loom is a little tedious sometimes for wanting to do something small. So I got the 10-inch Cricket, and that's all I was expecting to do, because let's face it, looms are big purchases, and we have all the stuff we're traveling with, and it's just not the time, right? So we get there and we're looking around, and they're like, just try all the looms, mess with whatever you want, that's fine. If you want to weave on any of them, just, treadle anything you want. These are fine. Just do what you want. So they said, because, they're just there to mess with. These aren't going to stay with anybody. So I was just doing random treadling on their different looms, and I messed with the wolf pup and the baby wolf. I looked at the mighty wolf, but I was like, honestly, my Cranbrook loom is that big, and I just have a hard time getting the shuttle from one end to the other. Whenever I do something the full width, I have to stand the entire project in order to go back and forth, because I just can't reach it. And I sat at the wolf pup, and I started messing with it, and it was the maple one, which is always gorgeous. And it just was so nice. It was perfect size for the shuttle, just so easy. And I was just blown away. And I guess as I was sitting there, my face is clearly lit up, because my husband goes, well, do you really like this one? I said, yes, I do. And he asked, what colors does it come in? And they said, well, currently we have the maple, and tomorrow's the last day for the cherry loom. And he said, let's get the cherry one. And does it have a matching bench? And they said, yes. So he said, let's get that. So he just decided to go ahead and get this loom and the cherry bench and the cricket loom all at once. And I was won't lie. I was completely blown away, so excited, and I was smiling the rest of the 20 hours home, just ear to ear, because I'm so in love with it already. And that's why I know it's going to be weaving a dream with it. And so far, everything, even as I'm setting it up, I'm just so in love with how everything is set up. I love how the treadle system is. I love how light everything is. And I won't lie, I love how small everything is and how short this bench is. You can actually make it taller, but we have it at the shortest setting because I'm not tall. It's just everything about this loom is absolutely beautiful. Don't get me wrong, the maple is beautiful, but the cherry is just next level. So I was just completely blown away. And as we're setting up and we're talking about it, we sit there and he says, you know what, I might be able to fit that in the back of my truck. How big is that box? And they give him the dimensions on the box, and he goes out, he rearranges all the suitcases and all the stuff like that. And he's like, I think it'll fit. I think it's a tight fit, but I think it'll fit. And he says, if it doesn't fit, how long is shipping? And they said, shipping for the maple looms is about 9 weeks out. And he was like, oh, that's really long. And they said, he goes, how long if I have room in my truck, will it take you guys to box it up? And they said, it takes about 15 minutes. And he was like, okay, can I use a box to see if it'll fit? And they said, yeah, we'll give you a box. So they hand him a box, and he makes sure the box fits, and it fits. And he's like, yes. So we back up to the loading dock, and about 15 minutes, boom, we have the box in the loom in the box, and they are loading it into the truck with my husband. And I have the loom, and I don't have to wait 9 weeks. So I was just completely blown away. Everybody at Schacht was so nice, and they really were willing to talk to you about anything about the products and kind of things like that. And I just really enjoyed it and give their opinions on the looms and what's the best fit for people. And I was laughing because as I was talking to the lady, I had mentioned that I did already have a Schacht loom. It was the flip loom. And she goes, oh, really? What size? And I was like, oh, it's a 30-inch loom. And she goes, oh, are you from Texas or from Minnesota? And I laughed. And she goes, those are literally the only 2 places we sell a 30-inch. And I was like, I could see that. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, I'm in Texas. So it was a good laugh. I've now got this loom. I've just finished setting it up, and you can see how gorgeous it is. I'm going to kind of zoom in on different parts of it and just show you how it looks a little bit closer up. And I'll show you a little bit of the Cricket loom also, since I have both now. This is kind of like a new loom reveal. And my next video that's going to come out is either going to be the wool alpaca or where I'm just kind of washing it, or the summer and winter weave. I'm not sure which one's next, but because at this point I have 2 videos pre-recorded, but this one's preempting them, or at least one of them. We'll see. I just absolutely needed to show you guys this loom. I'm not sure if any of you guys out there have the cherry loom yet. If you do, go ahead and drop a comment below. Let me know if you're absolutely in love with it. And also, let me know if you're interested in this color scheme or what questions you have about the Baby Wolf, because obviously I haven't used it yet, but as I start to get it warped and everything set up, I can definitely share more insights about it in future videos. So drop a comment, like, share with your friends, and let's get a closer look at this loom. Okay, so you kind of see right here, we have the 8 shafts, and you can tie up as many as you need, but this is just how smooth they glide. Absolutely gorgeous. Forgive the mess that you see in the background. I haven't really gotten fully unpacked and everything yet. You have the beater, and it moves so smoothly. So when you're threading, it actually, I'll come over here, it has a little pin. So you want to keep the beater out of the way when you're threading so it stops falling. You can actually move it and then pin it into place. So I'd have to line it up with the pinhole. Yeah, there's the pinhole, and you can just pin it, and then you can actually thread the reed, and that will keep it still, which is pretty cool. So this actually folds up pretty easily. I was able to do it by myself. It is on the stroller, so I am able to go ahead and just fold this up. Even with a project on it, it should be able to fold up, and I could just move it to a corner of my house, so it takes up a lot less room, which is pretty awesome. The bench itself has a little bit of storage built in with this little cubby right here. You can just throw like extra boats or bobbins or something in there when you're using them, but maybe not right now. So something I really like is this setup for the treadles. So I know other looms have it, but my current loom uses the chains, and I have to change each chain every time I do a setup, which takes a long time. So with this one, you actually put threads on each slot of each lamb. So each one of these, you can see there's 10 threads on them. And then I just take the ones I want, and I go ahead and attach that string to that lamb. And I just leave the rest there. And then I just move it around. And the strings just slide into place. So like this one, just for now, I put it on shaft 8. And I always like to have the plain weave on the sides. So I have 4 shafts on this one and on shaft 1. Right here is the brake release. So whenever I push it, it allows me to spin the back beam. And it allows me to use it forward. And then this is the crank. So it just boop, picks up, and it spins, and it spins, and it's quite nice. This is a jack loom, so all of the sheds raise, as opposed to my countermarch loom, which some of the sheds raise and some of them go down. And here we have the back warp for winding on. Normally, you're just going to leave this hanging loose, but whenever you are ready to wind on, you push it onto this bolt, and then you start spinning it, which is pretty good. And then whenever you're not, you just set it down like that, and it's fine. And back here, we have a little bit more brandy. Back here, we actually have another little set of kind of elastic threads. And what this is for is if you are weaving an unbalanced weave, sometimes one of your heddles will try to float up. And what you use these for is you put them in. It's not wanting to slide right now. But you slide this in just like you would your normal tie-up cords. And it will hold up the back a little bit more with a little bit of elasticity in order to prevent that shed from floating up. So you just attach it to the treadle that has the sheds that are trying to float up. And that's great. And come over here. We have just these little things. We have them on both sides that you attach whenever you fold up the stroller in order to keep it in place and secure it a little bit more. You also have this locking system. So when you raise this up, you need to pull this out. And when you get it up, you push it back in. That's on both sides. So that's basically a quick overview of this loom. And you can see how the beater moves, nice and easy. Everything about it is just so smooth and so slick and so pretty. Let's get over to our Cricket loom real quick. All right, so here we have the Schacht Cricket loom. This is their 10-inch, and it's very similar type of feel as my flip loom, but design-wise, it is different. You can kind of see how there's a locking system right here for when you have the treadle in the down shed, which the flip loom does not have. It's a little bit more firm in place. I hate to say firm in place because it's not, but like it's not going to slide forward or backwards. Whereas with the flip loom, you can push the handle back further when you go into the downshed. Then this, not a big deal. This is a small loom. This is the 10-inch, and it only has the brake system on one side versus two. Whereas the flip loom, you have the braking system on both sides. I actually like that it's on one side. It feels very convenient. I understand with the flip loom, due to its size, you really do need it on both sides, or else you kind of get a little uneven. After that, this is a very simple setup. It took me 15 minutes to put it all together. It was very quick, very easy, and it's definitely child friendly. My daughter has a hard time still kind of doing the sheds. She is able to do it, but at this point she is 4. So if your kid's a little bit older, maybe 6 to 8, they're probably not going to have an issue at all. Anything younger than that, they're probably going to face the same issue. I didn't get the stand. I may in the future. The only thing I would say is getting the paper on the back beam. That took a little extra effort, mostly just because it's a confined space. It's a little hard to get your hands into. Able to do it, but that did take a little bit more effort than I'm used to putting into it. Still not that hard. And it does weave quite nicely. So this is just an 8-dent reed because that's what it came with. And I was like, you know what? We can use any yarn. We can double up yarns. Okay. So this is basically everything the Cricket loom came with. It came with the loom, the 8-dent heddle reed, the threading hook, warping peg, 2 table clamps, 2 stick shuttles, 2 balls of yarn, and then a couple of project ideas with little weaving instructions. It is recommended for ages 8+, so that's probably why my little one is having issues with it, but she's doing great. But here are the 2 balls of yarn, and they're very cute. They are from Brown Sheep Company in Nebraska. These are the spiced plum and what's the other color? Ash, which are very pretty. Okay, it is worsted weight, and this is 100% wool on both of them, and it's about 120 yards each one. So this is perfect for the 8-dent reed since it's a worsted weight. So she could have made a wool scarf with one of these or both of these. She opted for yellow and said she's going to save her yarn for a different project. That's my girl. So, and here are the table clamps, which I'm actually going to see about attaching to that and see if that makes it easier for weaving, especially for her, because she really did want to weave a little bit more, but she was struggling with that and getting a little frustrated. So I don't want her to get frustrated on her first weaving adventure. The cherry loom did come with its own little bead hook, which is super cute. And it came with leaf sticks also. And it came with, of course, the boards here and a few other things like that. So it's got everything that you need in order to weave. It didn't come with thread. So all in all, I'm really excited about using this. I'm already loving using the Cricket loom. And I just feel very blessed for all of this. So if you're interested in either of these looms, want a little bit more detailed video on any of them, go ahead, let me know, drop a comment, like, subscribe, share with your friends. So let me know what you think and which ones you're interested in, and let me know what looms you have.